I am going to be grinning like a Cheshire cat for weeks. Manchester City 1, Manchester United 2. What a final few minutes that was. The game itself was poor. It was a dog's game. It was ridiculously bad from both sides. There was no real quality from either side. I think with about half an hour gone, there was 4 touches in an opposing team's box. It was awful. I think that personally United played the better. That might be disputed. I heard Gary Neville on comms when the winner went in saying that it's not really what United deserve. I disagree because I think United played well. Defensively and in the midfield, they played well. Now, when they got to the final third and they got to the box, it was like they stopped remembering how to play football because there was just no idea at times. It was horrible to watch, and I think that definitely needs to improve. The problem that United have, the main problem, is scoring goals. It's definitely the problem, and it seems to be the one thing that's causing us the most aggro in a sense. There obviously have been a few errors over the season here and there. We've had a couple of games where we have played to an extent incredibly badly. The games like the game against Tottenham and the game against Liverpool. But for today, I genuinely think that United played really well. I think they were regimented in the back three. I think Maguire had a good game, which is rare coming out of my mouth. I think De Ligt was strong in his tackling and great. I think Martinez was good as well. I think Onana didn't really put a foot wrong. The wing backs, Diallo, maybe could have been a bit better. Mazraoui is still my signing of the summer. The midfield, obviously, we started as Ugarte and Fernandes, and after 15 minutes, Mount comes off. I do feel as though Mason Mount needs a run of games where he doesn't get injured because these injuries are going to cost him his career at United. I think he will be moved on if this continues. I know there's a lot of people within and around the club, and even Amorim himself has said that he does like Mason Mount and the way he plays, and it suits his style and the way he wants to set up, which is all well and good when he's not gonna be fit basically. So he needs to stay fit with these sort of situations. But obviously he's felt something go in his in part of his leg, however. And that's then obviously caused him to go off injured. Now, obviously, Mainu came on. I think Mainu and Ugarte played really well together. They were regimented again. Ugarte has been really good since Amorim came in. I don't think he's really put a foot wrong that I can remember. He's feeling himself now in terms of knowing what he needs to do in game, and it's good to see that he's now cracking on as well. So him, Mazraoui, De Ligt, solid. I know obviously when the Euro came on, had a bit of a cameo, did everything that was required. Again, fantastic stuff. The forward line, lacked for the first 86 minutes or whatever it was. Amad tried here and there to try and get himself about. It was very difficult with some of the players around him not really giving much service. Hoyland was another where he felt very isolated at times, and it's something we don't want to see with these sort of situations. And obviously Fernandes moved up into the kind of midfield role, but he felt as though he was kind of trying to step back into the role he was supposed to be doing even though Mainu was there. And it's like no, he needed to be in the higher end of the midfield. He wasn't really doing that. So it left Hoyland a little bit isolated at times. Obviously, the subs were made. I don't think any of them made an impact, if I'm honest. So we obviously had Mainu come on. Obviously, Mainu was on early on, so we can't really say he didn't make an impact. He was in for the majority of the game and played quite well. Xerxes came on and didn't really do much apart from the end bit where he just kept the ball as much as possible until the whistle blew. Anthony came on, didn't really do anything. And the Euro came on and was regimented, so I'll give Euro in terms of subs. The only thing I want to talk about before we get onto the main crux of what happened was Kyle Walker. It's disgraceful. Come on now. They've gone into a head-to-head with each other. I get that. But to go down like he has is, frankly, despicable. He's basically just trying to get Højlund sent off. There is VAR now. We are going to see that. So he's obviously tried to get the Højlund sent off, even though they're 1-up. So I think it's disgraceful. Personally, I'd be ashamed if it was my son or whoever, if it was someone I knew, or if it was in my team, I'd be saying the exact same thing. If it was someone like De Ligt or Mazraoui on Haaland or whoever, I'd be saying the exact same thing the other way. It's disgraceful, to be fair. We'll go through the goals. Their goal was a little bit lucky because the ball gets deflected off Amad and then kind of perfectly into the path of Gvardiol, who gets a free header, just heads it back across goal, giving Onana no chance. Did they really produce anything after that? Because I can't remember anything that I can remember. There wasn't really anything. Fernandes had a chance just before it all kicked off, in a sense, that just went wide past the post, which was unlucky for him. And then Amad put himself about. Let's talk Amad, because this boy's a star. He is by far, for me, the best player in United's team at this moment in time in terms of form. He just put himself about, got himself into good areas, tried to be on the last defender with those little ball throughs here and there, and just trying to run the channels nicely. Now, he is alert to the pass back from Matheus Nunes straight away. You can see it. He knows it's coming. Then when the pass is poor, he obviously pounces on it. If you watch the replay from just like on the side of the goal, when he gets the ball and he kind of rounds the goalkeeper and he has to kind of check back a little bit, he just takes a look round his shoulder and sees Nunes coming. So then he knows, because obviously he's kind of one-on-one with the goalkeeper. If he can't work an angle, he knows he's coming at him and he just needs to get himself into the way of Nunes and the ball. He can go down and win the penalty. Exactly what he does. Wins the penalty. Fernandes, cool as you like, into the back of the net. And then, literally a minute later, it's a phenomenal ball over the top from Martinez. It is on the money. The run from Amad Diallo, it basically, he curves his run, so I'll have to do it this way. He curves his run in, but then checks back and then runs again. It's like a double kind of run. That kind of check back keeps him onside by a good couple of yards, 2-3 yards, which then allows him to then run in. Because of that, obviously, the ball over the top from Martinez, he just gets that toe end onto it, flicks it over the top of the goalkeeper, allows himself to get, obviously, because he's left-footed, it helps get that ball across goal. It isn't the cleanest of shots, but because it then kind of trickles across the ground, it means that Gvardiol has to kind of try and adjust his feet. He can't, and even if he takes a touch on it, I think it goes in the back of the net. I don't think he stops it. I think it's going to either roll past him like it did, or roll through him, or it's going to clatter into his foot and just move into the net anyway. So, for me, Gvardiol had no chance to stop that. And then obviously it goes in the back of the net. And madness ensues, because that's now 1 win in 11 for Manchester City, and that's 8 defeats, which is relegation form for them. But we're not talking City, we're talking United here. I might do a video on City this week, actually, because it needs to be looked at. But for me, I think they deserve the point, because I've looked at the stats as well. They're very even in terms of stats. And I thought United played well. They controlled the game relatively well in the first half. Obviously, the goal didn't help situation, because obviously it meant that City were in front and they could dictate a little bit and control the game defensively. But I thought United played decently well in the midfield and the defensive line. Good passing play here and there. It was just the forward line that's costing us at the moment, I think. And that's repeatedly happening. Obviously, there have been mistakes here and there that have then cost us games, more likely than not. The Forest game is a prime example, because there's 2 in that game. But for me, they are there or thereabouts in 2/3 of the kind of point, the defence and the midfield. It's the forward line that's costing us, for me, definitely. For me, man of the match is Amad Diallo. Incredible boy. What a kid he is. He's going to have a future if his trajectory continues the way it's going. But yeah, my adrenaline's still going. I'm still on a high from this. I'm going to be in a good mood now until at least Thursday when we go to Spurs in the Carabao Cup. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments what you thought about the game. Like this video if you haven't. Subscribe if you're new. Until next time, guys. Take care.